Hello. Hey, I haven't posted for a while. So, I thought, well, there must be another way of doing this. So, here I am. I'm going to talk to you while I do the dishes. And like, as I stand here doing the dishes, I look out to my garden and my roses are out and they're beautiful. And you know, they make me smile, but they also make me sort of reflect a little bit and realise that connection of pattern that, you know, that nature has and how it relates to, I don't know, being you, I suppose, or, you know, being a being, really. You know, it wasn't too long ago that those beautiful roses were really cut heavily, like pretty much right down to the, I guess, you know, close to the root. And we weren't too sure whether, you know, what would happen and whether they'd come back again. And they have, and they're beautiful, and they're big and proud and colourful with an amazing scent. And it makes you realise that, you know, that can happen to you as a, you know, as a person, right? That you have experiences in your life that, you know, that will humble you, or that will, you know, will cut you down and break you down. And a lot of the times how you react to that can define or, you know, redefine you. You know, and it's that whole thing around, you know, failure is the reality of life. But also, what is it with the conception or misconception that failure is a bad thing? You know, failure, well, I don't know. In my experience, I've always learnt more from failing, and I've failed regularly. And I've done it well, spectacularly well sometimes. But you know, what a great way of learning. What a great way of experiencing. And when you take away the shame of failing, and that's primarily because of the, you know, the social conditioning that we have that tells us that, you know, it's not okay to fail, which means it's not okay to try. And so often people won't even do something, will try something, because they're so, you know, worried about getting it wrong. I mean, I'm nearly 50, and I wonder about, you know, how many more new things am I gonna have in my life? And it's a humbling experience being new to something, to be learning about something. But the value of it, right? There's also that nice experience or ability to be able to share that knowledge and experience with people as well. You know, so as well as receiving by learning new things, taking what you know and understand and sharing that with other people. Anyway, I'm waffling on a bit. So yes, so spring is here. You know, there is beauty in the garden. And like other animals, I guess, I'm out of hibernation, so I have been doing things. You know, there's flowers in the garden, the visibility screen's going up. I've been doing some learning, which is really good. Been doing some finishing, which is also really good. Finished some learning, which has been nice, and also taking the opportunity to do new learning. Realising, you know, the patterns of nature are also the patterns of the human, and just how how that, you know, pretty much everything we want is with nature, right? And you know, one of the great things about life is when you have, or when you take the opportunity to take pleasure out of the simple things in life. And it's things like doing dishes, you know. I live in a house, I don't have a microwave and I don't have a dishwasher. And that's because one is that there's something very therapeutic about having your hands in warm water. It also gives you that opportunity to stop and take a breath and contemplate a little bit. And hence why I guess I'm on here doing this. But just, you know, reflecting on what there is in the world. But just that attachment and, you know, pattern to cycle. You know, after I finished the 120-day integration, I went into a bit of a hibernation, really. And I did a bit of a reset, and I've got some things going on. And I'm sort of in that, now I'm starting in the action mode, and I've lived at this house now, going into my, well, yeah, it'll be my 3rd year next year, from March. So I've lived here long enough to know what I want, really, and, you know, how the sun works, and the, you know, nice spots, and yeah, you know, that personalisation of a property. And you know, I'm putting in a spiral for meditation and other activities, as well as, you know, creating a garden that's you know, nice to walk around, that the bees are happy in. You know, that'll nourish me. Yeah, you know, with herbs and veggies and things like that. So yeah, that's exciting. And then there's the other learning. And it's been really interesting since I finished the 120-day integration. And it sounds weird, but the shift has been going from believing to knowing. So often I would think about, you know, what do I believe? And that versus the knowing. You know, when you take something in your life, just when you take something in your life and it's just an intrinsic part of who you are in here, right? Then it's how do you utilise that? And how does that look different? You know, in regards to, you know, and was it a yesterday and today thing? And it's an ongoing area of exploration. And so, like everything, you fall back into old patterns, right? You fall back into old behaviours. And in a lot of, I guess, you know, in a lot of ways, well, for me, I'm talking about me, it's about falling back into things that are comfortable. And there's not a lot of progress in comfort, is there? I don't know. Anyway, the dishes are done. So I'll leave it at that. Till next time. Rambling while doing the dishes.